Um, I want to apologize for this stream. My throat is, um, fucked. It's not good. I don't feel good. I am in a little bit of pain. But that's okay. It's gonna be a little bit quiet. It's gonna be a little short. Just chilling. But you, this time I just existed. I did nothing wrong. I popped off too hard when Twists hit a 1v3 with a deagle. Okay, Charles, that's what happened. Yeah, so it'll be a couple of days. I'm sure I'll be better on Tuesday. But for the time being, we're just gonna have to suffer a little bit as I drink my hot water. Water's so hot, it burns your throat and it distracts you from the pain that you're feeling. That's how you solve it. That's how you solve a sore throat. Yeah, so I'm not doing too hot. We're gonna make it through anyway. If they ask me to cast for Baki Hockey, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off. Don't you dare do that dumb shit, brother. I'll kill you. MJ been on an ultra kill? Oh shit. MJ going for a fucking speedrun, brother? Let's see it, man. I'm all here for it. I need some. I love to see it, bro. Everybody going for their speedruns. What's your speedrun, ladies and gentlemen? I need to hear it. What the hell? Alright, let's get ourselves together, shall we? Sorry, I'm just a bit of a mess right now, as you can tell. Yeah, that'll happen. Just people being kind of lame in general. It happens to the best of us. All we can do is kind of just sit back and look. What do you think is wrong? It happens every year. Sheepo 3 has a fucked throat for a couple days, and it sucks. I have a sore throat. It happens, brother. It's just the nature of being sheep. Once every year, ladies and gentlemen. It's like Christmas. Every single year it comes around. I can't escape it. As someone who talks a lot and talks loudly, I'm sure that this is like a kind of the nature of the business. This is why I don't think I could ever do this as like a job. Like talk. Because some days I'd just be like this and it just sucks. Oh, somebody just got hit. My game volume is loud as hell. Sorry. Yeah. Look at your streak. Okay, hold on. My boys are getting destroyed out here. We back, gamers. Hey, Charles. Seeing as you're my my only source on this, how's this here grand finals going for you on your end? I'm enjoying it. Have you seen FNAF 2? I've heard it's dog shit. Oh, they just lost. Fuck. Well, it might be cooked here, Charles. I don't know if FaZe are gonna win the next map. I don't have any faith. FNAF 2 is great? Oh, well, you know what? Differing opinions, I guess. Hey, they did it one time, okay, Charles? We got our one major. The FaZe fans got one, and that's all we're gonna get. 15 times better than the first? I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of the first, so... maybe I'll be a bigger fan of the second. I can see it. I do prefer more of like the atmospheric, kind of like vibey horror as opposed to the big jump scares and moments like that, so... if it does more of that shit, which I think that FNAF can really like sink into, I think it would be really good. Plot holes. Wait, so are the movies supposed to be like an independent property, or are they supposed to be like a plot within themselves? Like where do the, like, are the movies part of the full plot of FNAF, or are there... I don't understand. New take on the same story? Well, I mean... what? Unbelievable. No offense, but the FNAF story is not like the most great... it's not the... plot holes are kind of like the nature of the business with Five Nights at Freddy's, low-key. Respectfully. It's kind of just, you know, it is what it is. So... if the plot holes kind of take away from the, I'm trying to think of the word. If they take away from the... theories to the lore, hey, I mean, maybe that's true. But all I'm trying to say is, you know, if the plot holes take away from like my ability to like immerse myself within the world, then I'll complain. If they don't really have that effect, then I'm fine with it. Just depends how the plot holes affect, right? That's all that really matters. Plot holes are not like necessarily a bad thing. Lore's cringe. Make it have no story or plot whatsoever. Real. Actually, true as fuck, bro. Fuck lore. I want no lore in my movies. I want to watch a movie but with no story. I don't want any coherent sense of what's happening in the world. There should be no story. Nothing should be settled. I just want to watch like I want to watch like a place. I don't even... fuck story. Story's overrated. We need to return back to no story. That's what we need. I missed. I'm a bum. This is devastating. My goat agenda. Poisoner? On this map? But why? Watch Harry Potter. Harry Potter is the #1 plot hole, isn't it? I love hearing people bitch and moan about Harry Potter. It's very funny. Because definitely as I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit less, you know, appreciative, I guess is the word, for the Harry Potter books. Definitely they are not like... they're not... they're good. They're just not like bangers, you know what I'm saying? People just... I feel like Harry Potter is kind of like FNAF, except J.K. Rowling's transphobic, so nobody likes it. That's what I think. And that's my hot take. I think that Harry Potter and FNAF are kind of in the same vein of thing, except one of them. Ah! Yeah, I mean Scott Cawthorn isn't the swellest guy either, but at least he's not like actively trying to campaign for like the fucking destruction of trans people or whatever, right? There's like differences, right? There's levels to this game, you know. Scott Cawthorn, I think, keeps this shit pretty low key. J.K. Rowling has not learned that lesson. That's not okay. Thank you. What did J.K. Rowling made FNAF? Oh man. See, now we're talking about the hypotheticals that nobody wants to imagine. On that. Haha. True, dude. Hey man, it's a cold dark world out here, bruh. What else did I want to talk about? I don't really know. I kind of forgot if I had anything else I had to talk about. I don't think so. Oh, scheisse. The lore be discovered so much faster, real shit. They wouldn't be purple. The purple guy wouldn't be purple, but they'd still be called the purple guy. They'd just be like some like weird color of like tan or gray, and they'd still be called the purple guy. in J.K. Rowling's FNAF. Fuck it, I'm just gonna go. Sorry, Queen. Would Golden Freddy get shot? No, there's no... Guns aren't very effective in J.K. Rowling's FNAF. Guns are like non-existent. There's actually universal gun reform that has banned guns in the entire world. Guns never got invented in J.K. Rowling's world. And they're just not real. To be fair, I feel like guns in FNAF are not really like how effective is a gun against the soul of a animatronic, the soul infecting an animatronic, right? Oh shit. Oh, it's cooked. 5 people, and on this map, I have to pick Seer. Dude, this map is so fucked, by the way. I'm not gonna get a single down. Why? It's mountain fucking base, and it's a 1 man against 5. It's so cooked, bro. They got JL on cast? Hell yeah. I'm not getting a single down. I hope you all know this. There's so many fucking windows. It's impossible. There's just no winning. I just can't do it. Look at this shit. What am I supposed to do, dude? I'm trapped here. I'm telling you, this map is fucking dog shit. When I said this map was dog shit, I wasn't fucking lying, bro. What if she made FNAF? I don't think I've got that dog in me. Respectfully. You dumb bitch. See, now why would you do something stupid and drop? They already got him freed. I want to kill myself. Oh, they're fools. Yo, how dumb do you think I am? Fuck, I'm that dumb. I could cry, bro. That's not a hit. That's so stupid. What the fuck did I do? Give me the fucking hit. That was my fucking hit, and they fucking took it away from me because it's a stupid fucking game, dude. This game makes me want to kill myself, bro. I swear to God. I just can't have shit. Okay, I'm not that stupid. Stupid. I can see you. Sorry, I'm so cooking. Apologies for my lack of talking. It also hurts to talk, so. Oh, how did I read you like a fucking book? Queen. Queen. How could you let me do that to you? How could you let me read you like that, brother? How can you let me read you like that, brother? Come on now. You gotta make your shit unpredictable. Ah. I'm just balling, bro. I can't even help it. I fucking balled, bro. Don't even question it. I did take a sip of my matcha, bro. I call all Roblox female characters queens. I do this. I've been using the word queen a lot in my verbiage, I must say. Maybe it is performative. It probably is, but it's funny. Calling people queen is funny. Especially because there's so many women that play Roblox and specifically play this game. Or I believe they're women, I can't tell. Probably just children, but regardless. Roblox is, you know, it's a much more like, there's a lot more women that play Roblox than, you know, fucking Call of Duty or whatever. So, calling people queen. Use Pookie. That feels like a pet name, you know? That feels a little bit too romantic for me. So I don't prefer Pookie. I like Queen though. Queen is funny. Oh shit. Twin. I am sexist. Ah, it is true. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. I just choose not to. I'm just built different. What can I say? There's two of them! Oh my god, they ran me down, bruh. Why are they fucking grouping up on me like this? What the fuck are they doing? Hey, yo. What is this? What the fuck, yo? They're attacking me, bruh. I do not sound like William Afton. Bro, I sound submissive as fuck right now. William Afton does not sound like this. Only when you lower your voice? Oh, I guess I can see that, but... I always come back. He's a trapper. I always come back. I can see where you're coming from now. Oh, they're balling. They've got 3, bro. Oh, no. Wait. They're popping off right now. What the hell? Blind as shit. Don't worry, Sneaky. We all have our moments. Submissive William and Mafton. I mean, when you're trapped in fucking custom night for eternity, I'd be pretty submissive too. So I don't blame him. Ah! You're getting... How? Ah! 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 He revives? Does he? Can't he just fucking die already, bro? Can't he just fucking get killed? Holy shit, how long does William Afton have to live for? Just let him fucking die, bro. Holy shit. He always comes back? I know, but still, you know? Like, at some point, you have to, like, kill him off for good and then, like, introduce a new villain. There needs to be a new villain at some point, right? He's uploaded his consciousness? Oh, man. Now we can probably, like, copy that shit. We can have multiple William Aftons. Oh, man. William Afton is stuck in my USB. William Afton is stuck in my 1 terabyte USB stick, and he needs your help. Help William Afton escape so he can murder more children from his USB stick. I accidentally downloaded William Afton on my computer. I don't know. The website said it was a download for free RAM, and now William Afton's on my computer. I don't know what to do. Help. Tech support, please. There's a man talking to me on my computer about killing children. I don't understand. Help. He keeps on saying I always come back. I don't know what that means. Tech support, I don't know what to do. I'm crying. Dude, the poor fucking Windows tech support guy is gonna go through a fucking 5 stages of hell trying to remove William Afton from my computer. Why do I always have to plan the shit maps, bro? Either I gotta start playing Roblox more, or I have to stop talking more. Because the viewers are kind of just... I thought you were a bad guy. I'm sorry. Don't go for that ladder, bitch. I will kill you. Watch this. They're so stupid it didn't fucking work. Bro. They're so shit at the game, I lost. There's my hit. What? Bro, what the fuck? Why am I lagging the fuck out right now? Yo! What the fuck? What the hell is going on? Am I lagging the fuck out or am I crazy? Bro. What the hell is happening, bro? Doggo, I'm freaking out. The boy. Just call me a bacon, okay? Goddamn. Call me by my God-given name, you bitch. Bro, I'm not finding anybody. Woke people won't call me bacon type shit. Type fucking shit, bro. Full black skin? Oh, this boy a tryhard. Oh my god. What a nasty grab, dude. Did you see that shit? I hate the tryhard skins, bro. Come on. You gotta lock in. This is ridiculous. This game is trash. Boy, you shit. Don't be mad at me. I'm so pissed that I missed that. I'm so fucking mad that I missed that, dude. So fucking mad, dude. Oh, man. That's so annoying. Didn't they ban headless? They should ban, like, the really dark skins. Super cringe. I hate this map. It's a dog shit map regardless, so I'm not, like, fucking crying about it or anything, but still. Dumbass bitch. Try me. Sorry, I'm being mad. I don't know why I'm mad. I'm mad for no reason. We're gonna get it though. Am I gonna camp? Yes. Because they're sexist? I am. I hate when women defeat me. It's just not a good map. It's hard to get good downs, and there's not a lot of good free spots. It's also hard to, you know, it's just like it's not very hard to guard downs because it's so easy for people to escape. Also, I was just missing my puller, so I'm part of the reason my chases were going on too long because I couldn't get my pulls. And I couldn't, like, after my pulls I was missing my downs, so after you get the pull you need to get the hit after, and I just wasn't doing that, and that's on me. I do hate the little tryhard in the all black skin. I think that's cringe, but you know. This map is not horrible. It's definitely a lot less frustrating than some of the other maps with puller. It's just that I think I hate people who do the all black skins because it's just like it's very clearly like you know what you're doing. Like it's very clearly you're very clearly trying to make it difficult for killers to find you. And I personally, I just find that a little bit cringe because I think it's just like, come on. It's just not very fun to play against, I think. Damn, I'm getting fucking hit from Narnia, bro, I swear to God. I'm getting hit from fucking Narnia, bro, I swear to God. I cannot get shit in this. He's all hell. I'm getting killed. Oh, they got a trapper too. I respect a good trapper game. How did he not see me? That's crazy work. Oh, somebody got trapped. There's some crazy work going on here, bruh. I so wish I could change the volume of voice chat. It'd be so much nicer. Too bad Roblox is a shit game, but you know. Yikes. Yikers. Sorry, Queen. Such a cheese thing. Opinion on Xenogender people like Xenoblade, the game? I don't know, I never played that game. I can't give you an opinion. I've never played Xenoblade, so I don't know. To fuck is Xenoblade? I don't know. It's like a game where it's like one of those like anime slasher games, or maybe it's turn-based. I don't know. It's like an anime game. Damn, people are getting destroyed by these traps. What the frick? These people getting pieced up, brother. It's crazy work. I don't know what a xenogender person is, though. God damn. Oh shit, I just saw the definition. I'll read that after I'm finished with this computer and I finish saving all these people that have apparently gotten trapped because they all suck. Whoa! The fuck? Xenogender is like gender identities that are best described as non-human things in aesthetics. At what point are we kind of just like taking the concept of gender like at some point like the concept of gender means nothing. We can't just make gender whatever we want it to be, unfortunately. You know? It's just not how it works. Nice try. Shit. It's kind of just stupid, I think. That's my ultimate opinion on the xenogender thing. It sounds stupid. I mean, why not? Because I think that gender, you know, as much as people want to, you know, disagree or whatever, I think that gender does have some amount of like use and value in it. And I think that, you know, the idea of male and female, you know, those are very like powerful like concepts and ideas that kind of pervade society. Male and female, and then something that's in between. When you start to come away from what male and female is, right? What is male and female? When you start to kind of, you know, when you start to try to add things to it, it just like nobody like. I feel like there's some inherent feeling of a gender. That's what I think. I think that there is an inherent feeling of what a gender is, right? And I think that you don't, it just doesn't seem like, it doesn't seem valuable or interesting or like useful to identify yourself as that, because you're not. You're a fucking human. You're not a cat. You don't identify as a cat. Just because you want to act like a cat, I don't give a shit if you want to act like a cat in your free time. That's not my business. But when you try to make it part of, you know, your gender identity, that's not like a, I don't know. I'm trying to find a better way to describe this, but it comes off as very wrong. Best described in relation to cats, but that doesn't mean anything. That's a useless thing. What is gender in relation to cats? What the fuck does that mean? That's a useless idea, right? The concept of like categories is that we're trying to group people into like these generally broadly defined ideas that we can all kind of get an understanding of, right? When I say I have black, like I have brown hair and somebody else has black hair, these are two very easy categories that I can place people into. Okay, these people have black hair, and it's very easy to keep people inside and outside of the category of what black hair is, you know? If you don't have black hair, you're not in the category of black hair. I think gender needs to function in the same thing if it is to be useful, if it is to be, you know, something that we can, you know, use to get an idea of how people like to express themselves, or the way people like to, you know, understand themselves, or like function within the world, how they want to be seen, how they want to be treated, right? I think gender is a very useful tool in that sense. And I feel like when you start like adding more and more categories that are increasingly arbitrary, you start to lose that idea, you start to lose that concept. I don't think I am. I think that masculine and feminine is a, you know, gender is a spectrum, right? There's masculine on one side and there's feminine on the other, and you can kind of oscillate between those two things. Everything else that's not that is not within the concept of gender. That's not gender at that point. Name it something else, call it something else, but it's not within the purview of what gender is. Just because you want to be, or you want to be in, like, you want to be seen in relation to a cat, you feel similar to that of a cat, that's fine. That's okay. But that's not gender. You can't describe that as a gender. It's neither strictly masculine or feminine. Well, then it's like at that point, like we're not just like, it's like you're playing baseball, but you said that, you know, I got a base hit and I'm gonna call it a home run. That's not how this shit works. There are rules to the game that we play, and the reason that there are rules is so that the category can be useful, so it can make people feel some type of way, right? I think gender is useful. I think gender is very useful. I think it works for like 99% of people. Just because just because something doesn't work for like 1% of people doesn't mean that we have to like take it away from the 99% that seem to have some kind of functional use for what gender is, right? I respect and I understand, the 1%. I'm not saying that I'm out here like, railing against them like they're some horrible people, but I'm just saying I feel like you need to find some other way to describe what you're trying to accomplish here, because I think that taking it away, I'm saying that it becomes like you are like by increasing the amount of by increasing the scope of what gender is, you start to destroy the concept. You start to weaken the idea of what gender is by broadening the category, the broad category of gender, what all the feelings that fall inside of gender. When you start to broaden that, it starts to break down the usefulness of that category, because there's no use in a category that encompasses everything. I disagree. I don't, because I said it. Sorry, that's a stupid sentence that I just said. I don't disagree. I think it's reutilizing language we already have to refer. I don't think it's a language thing. I think that gender is like, maybe this is just like a difference of how I see gender, but like I think there's a very like inherent idea of what gender is. Like there's some inherent idea in your brain, like when you were born, you have some concept of gender. That's why transgender people exist, because there is something inside of their brain that is telling them what gender they are, and then their body doesn't match that gender. They, the role of gender, the sex versus gender thing. Like you are born with a sex, and then your mind is telling you what your gender is, and that gender and that sex don't match, and that causes problems, right? It seems like a very understandable, very reasonable explanation. Maybe it's a different kind of gender. I don't think then it's not gender. Then call it something different. Call it like an identity or something, or whatever the fuck. It's not gender. It doesn't like that. Doesn't like it doesn't make it. It's not useful to me. If you describe yourself as that of a cat, what the fuck is that? What does that mean? I don't know. I can't conceptualize what that means. All right, what that functionally is. I'm a xenogender. I don't know what that is. That's not useful to me. I think gender is a useful concept. I think that we I don't like I don't think gender is the useful. Gender just doesn't make sense to me in that context. I guess maybe I'm just like my brain is too dead. I am not truly my cis brain is preventing me from understanding these complex concepts. It's entirely possible, but I just think at that point you've kind of just lost you've lost the point of the whole thing, right? You've kind of lost the plot. Not everybody needs to fit into a category. All right. If you don't want to engage with the concept of gender, then just say fuck it. I'm what do we have? We've got masculine, feminine, non-binary, and then what? Something else? Non-gender, no gender, whatever the fuck. I don't care. But just don't try to like increase like the amount, like just because you don't feel particularly attached to any one side of the gender spectrum doesn't mean that you have to have a gender, or doesn't mean that you have to like non-gender. I don't know. Like I'm just trying to look at this like it just seems like a totally like useless concept that it feels like we're trying to overcomplicate something that doesn't need to be overcomplicated. Why the fuck are we playing on the lamest maps of all fucking time, by the way? Sorry. Leave to end the game. Yeah, some people are cringe like that. Sneaky. I'm sorry. It's just the nature of the business. But that's my thing. I don't think xenogender is interesting or important or good. Why is Doggo getting offers of Gender norms get consistently looser over time. Maybe. I think that to a certain extent, yes. But also, I think that when you start to go directly into left field with something like gender of that of a I don't want to say cat gender, since that's not like a faithful retelling of what a xenogender is, but it just feels like we have gone like it feels like, you know, it's like it feels like you're playing a game of baseball and somebody, you know, and then the pitcher starts throwing a bowling ball at the batter. And it's like, what the fuck is going on, right? At some point, like we're not even playing baseball at some point. We've lost the plot, right? Like we have to maintain, we have to stay within the rules of the game. And just because the rules of the game change, just because the way that we play the game changes, doesn't mean that the rules of the game have to change as a result, right? All right. If you want to change the game's the rules of the game, I think that's a noble pursuit. But I think at some point, you know, people like baseball because of the rules of baseball, right? Like you can't, you know, you cannot break the fundamental rules of what baseball is to create because then you're just creating an entirely different sport. Sheep, are you happy right now? Yes, I'm very happy. In this particular moment, in general, I'm very happy. Right now, I feel like shit. But baseball won. But then, like, again, you've like. But then it's like, well, then what's the point of baseball too? If only like 1% of people play it, and then everybody else is kind of looking at those weirdos like, what the fuck are those weirdos doing playing baseball too? It's just fucking weird. Everybody just wants to keep playing baseball one, right? I think that's what starts to like you've created this entirely different sport that just is no use to like again, we're trying to keep these categories useful for everybody, for as many people as possible, right? We can't just create an entirely separate sport and then quarantine off all the people who don't like regular baseball and want to play baseball too. Well, then it's like, okay, fine, but then like you've created a sport that nobody plays. Not harming anybody, and it's fun to play baseball too. But then like but if you say that you're xenogender and you tell me that, you can't expect me to like, I don't know, it just like it's kind of like an okay, and then it's like it doesn't mean anything to me. You've then effectively destroyed the concept of gender. It becomes a useless thing if everybody's going around. If you know, if you want to identify yourself as that, that's fine. But again, you are taking away the concept. Just say, you know, like whatever, fine, be that way. But it's not like you're not useful. You're not categorizing yourself in a useful way to let people better treat you better or understand you better or try to, you know, make sure that they're, you know, being respectful towards whatever, you know, your thing is, right? So I guess, yeah, if you want to be xenogender, go be that way, fine. But it's just like, don't expect that to mean anything to anybody. If you want to be xenogender, then, you know, identify like that and with your own like small group of people that identify yourself, but don't expect that to be like a widely accepted or used thing, right? Everybody's gonna, you know, nobody's gonna make xenogender bathrooms, okay? You know, these are already fictional. Of course it's fictional. That's what all social constructs are. They're all fictional, but that doesn't mean that they're not useful or important. I think non-binary does mean something, though. Maybe this is like my poor understanding of the gender binary, but it feels like the non-binary is where you kind of like sit in the middle. You're not like particularly masculine or feminine, you know? You are somebody who kind of stays like in like isolated from from the traditional concepts of male and female, right? You are in the middle, right? You are kind of in that middle zone that like stands between male and female, you know? And that's kind of an ill-defined, weird little zone to be in, but it's still like a place. It's still a place on the spectrum, right? Right? it feels like what we're doing here with like xenogender is that we're taking that spectrum, we're just jumping off completely. All right, we're using it as a diving board to jump off, and it's like, okay, that's fine. If you want to jump off the diving board, that's cool. I think jumping off the diving board is fun too, but still, you've still kind of left what is useful about gender, right? Hey man, that's what they taught me in school. Okay, they taught me that the gender is it's not a scale. What's the word for it? Gender is it's a fucking it's a goddamn number line. That's right. What school? I don't know, middle school or whatever. 3D gender? Oh no. See, I was terrible at geometry. I like to stick with the 2D shapes. My gender is 4-dimensional. No. 4-dimensional gender, it's too difficult. Be seen by? I don't know. Again, it's like it feels like at some point sometimes like we are so woke that we destroy like sometimes it feels like we are so woke that we make people kind of like hate us for no reason, if you know what I'm saying. Sometimes because it feels like a lot of people have like way more attachment to these things than I. Like, for example, like people have way more attachment to like the concept of gender than I do, right? I'm not deeply tied to gender. See you later, nerd boy. Right? And I think some people are kind of a lot more deeply attached to what gender is, because it feels like what you're doing is you're destroying like what like kind of something that they hold like dear, something that they hold like their traditions. It feels like you're destroying their traditions. And while these people, they may be incorrect and they may be wrong about what your actual intent is, it kind of just alienates those people, and it makes our position less amenable to people who may disagree, right? That's just what I'm trying to say. It feels like, you know, it's the same reason why I don't really like to talk about like the transgender people in sports debate. It just feels like we're not at the point where this is a viable conversation or important conversation, because all it does is it pisses people off that may have, you know, like, you know, iffy feelings on transgender people already, and it just makes them hate them for no reason, when like nothing is like, we're just pissing people off for no reason, right? Like, let's just focus on the basics first, right? So yeah, you know what? I guess it's an interesting conversation to have, but when it comes to actual policy prescription, I don't know. Again, I'm just saying, I think that we cannot make things infinitely accommodating, or else they're kind of like, they become less enjoyable as a result. I think that applies to like a lot of things. You can't make everything infinitely accommodating. What about Catboy welfare? Look at my last tweet, Roses, and then tell me what I think about Catboy welfare. Things make themselves more and more accommodating over time naturally as more people feel the need to be accommodated. I think that's true, but also I don't think things should be infinitely accommodating at the cost of like the thing itself, right? You know, in like an extreme example, it's like for a good extreme example of this would be like, let's say I'm part of the offensive jokes club, right? If I'm part of the offensive jokes club and then somebody starts making like, if somebody comes in here and says I feel offended by these jokes, so it's like, well, what the fuck? I'm part of the offensive jokes club. I want to make an offensive joke, and you're not letting me. See, and by accommodating your need to not feel offended, then suddenly, you know, you've destroyed the offensive jokes club. Now I can't, you know, the offensive jokes club can't exist, right? And while, you know, I understand that's kind of a comically insane example, it still kind of gets to the core of what it is, right? At some point, when you start accommodating for everything, you start to accommodate for nothing, and so the concept of the thing is destroyed, right? It will not. Yeah, some things aren't accommodating to everybody, right? Just because you know, again, back to the baseball example, okay? I'm not going to accommodate people who don't want to play by the rules of baseball. If you're not going to play by the rules of baseball, then you can't join the baseball team. I'm sorry. If you want to play on the baseball team, you have to play by the rules of baseball. I can't accommodate for you who dislikes baseball. I'm sorry. Did I just see Proro die in front of me? Holy shit. That's kind of fucking dark as shit, bro. Oh my god. Dude, this poisoner's going off. That shit was dank as hell. Gender is not a club you can choose to join or not. Well, yeah, but I think the concept applies, right? I just think that when we start to, you know, I think we call it something else. I don't think it's useful to, you know, categorize it as gender, because at that point, like, what is gender? Because I do think that there is some, you know, maybe this is what I'm tied to in this idea, but I think that there is some concept of gender that we have like internal to ourselves. Like there is some internal concept of gender that is not societally constructed. There is some like fundamental like thing that gender is. Like you are born with it. This is what gender means to you. There's something inside of you that kind of rules that. Some internal like thing in your brain, like an animal instinct or something. That's what I think. And so I think that's why I'm a little bit less amenable to the idea that we can kind of just make gender infinitely like, you know, malleable, because I think gender is like functional inside of us. Dude, FaZe Clan is getting absolutely fucking cooked right now. This is brutal. It's literally 11-0. Vitality's unbeatable. $11-0. If they get 13-0'd, honestly, that would be iconic. I kind of want them to get 13-0'd now, Charles. Either they have to make the full comeback or they have to get 13-0'd. Because getting dude, imagine how peak that shit would be. Vitality 13-0ing FaZe to win the major. That's kind of sick. That's kind of sick. Low key. That's kind of sick. I think gender is like useful because it helps us inform how we should treat people or how we should act around certain people. I think it's, you know, it's one of the assumptions that we make about people that are, you know, it's, you know, I do support prejudice and stereotypes when they're used in a not disrespectful manner. You can't make like assumptions about people and then act boldly on those assumptions, but you can kind of have an idea of how you should act, and then you can kind of move about that. I think a good example of this is like, you know, like if I'm walking, like if I'm walking down a street at night and there's a woman in front of me, or somebody who I look and I see like, okay, this person looks like a woman, this person is kind of presenting as feminine, I should treat that interaction in a certain way, or else I'm gonna creep the fuck out of that woman by just walking behind her. I have to do something to change that situation, either like run, either like overtake her somehow, or like stay back so I don't like, I'm not looking like a creep, right? I think in that like that's an example of where I think gender, or the presenting of gender, is like a very useful thing. If that was a man or somebody who was masculine presenting, I think I'd be a lot more comfortable kind of just like walking at my own pace, because I feel like they'd be a lot less concerned about somebody like trying to run up on them like that, right? I think gender can be useful in that sense, even though you know, I might have the wrong assumption. Maybe that, you know, the person who I'm walking behind doesn't give a fuck. Or maybe I'm walking behind a man and they still feel creeped out by somebody who's just like kind of walking behind them, right? Maybe I am like making a bad assumption, but still, you know, the fact that I can make that assumption and it's like generally accurate, I'd say, I think that's like an interesting and useful thing. All right, respectfully, I'm not gonna like go behind you and see, oh shit, they have cat ears. Now like there's no like, you know, at some point it's like, okay, so you're not masculine presenting, you're not feminine presenting. What are you, cat presenting? Are you gonna walk around wearing ears and a tail? I feel like we started to lose the plot here, right? Cat gender is, but that's kind of me, like, again, the fact that I can't fucking understand it. Maybe that is some like, maybe that's my failing, but also it's like, maybe that's just a failing of like the category itself, right? If it's more abstract than that, like what fucking use am I getting out of it? Just because I wasn't taught about it in school doesn't mean like I can't fucking understand it. It just means that it feels like, you know, it feels like I struggle to apply it usefully. That's all I'm saying, you know? I seek to keep the concept of gender to be useful. I think that's why, you know, it exists to a certain extent. Because it is useful. Because it does have use in helping people describe themselves and understand themselves in the greater context of society. That's why gender continues to persist after all this time, right? Look, maybe if it comes like more commonplace, then I could see it happening, right? I'm not saying that this is like an untenable concept, right? I think that when I see people like, there are certain people that like, what's the one TikTok? There's this one TikTok of people like, of somebody saying like, why do all people in poly relationships look like that? And I think it's like kind of a similar concept, right? Because you should just treat everybody the same. Well, yes, but right? You should treat everybody the same, or you should at least strive to treat everybody equally. But there are some points where, you know, equality is just not particularly, like, equality is not the best way to run it down, right? It's like the same example with like walking down a dark alley, right? Walking down a street at night, right? I'm going to treat a man or a masculine presenting person and a woman presenting person differently in that situation, right? I'm not going to treat them equally. Just like in the same way, like when I'm sitting at the train stop and I see somebody who's like well dressed and has like a suit and a briefcase on versus a homeless guy who looks like he's homeless, I'm going to treat those two people differently, right? And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe that's a bad thing, but still, you know, I am historically at more risk from that fucking homeless guy than the fucking guy dressed in a suit. Respectfully, it's the way it is. And I've done this shit before. This has happened to me. When I'm sitting at train stops at night and there's like some homeless guy who's chilling like very close to me, I don't fucking like that shit, bro. I'm on edge. Absolutely, I'm on edge. Because I've seen homeless people go fucking crazy on people, bro. I've seen this and I know it happens, okay? So yeah. Gender studies, maybe I do, but I feel like, you know, stereotypes exist for a reason, right? Stereotypes are not useless. I think when you use stereotypes tactfully and respectfully, I think that they can be very useful in how you describe and how you understand people. Yeah, they're not perfectly accurate, and I think there are, again, I think there are respectful ways and disrespectful ways to, you know, interact with stereotypes and how to, you know, how you assume around what people, you know, how you assume, right? I wonder if Proro or Doggo is playing the Watcher or the Stalker or whatever. That's, well, he could be. That is a crazy answer. Damn, bro just wanted bro's life is a bro's life might be full of sunshine and rainbows, bro. You beat me, I guess. True, real shit. Damn. How is it Amelia who has gotten the epic own with facts and logic, bro? I don't know, man. I don't know. Roses, what if it was a gun instead of a knife? Would you just assume like that guy just wanted to go fucking hunting or something? He was just like he was about to go hunting or some shit? Open care. I mean, I guess. All right. You know what? At least you're consistent. I appreciate that. At least your position is consistent. So I gotta respect that. I feel a little bit nervous if somebody pulled up with a gun, walking around with a gun on. You know, I'd feel a little nervous. Yeah, I would. Yeah. Yeah. Me and the homeless guy, you know, we're not buddies, unfortunately. Sorry to the homeless guy, but me and you are, and you know, we're not buddies. I'm not buddies with the homeless guy. You know when that homeless person was in the gym, you know, when I talked about on Friday that, you know, I couldn't work out because the homeless person was in the gym. You know what? Maybe I should have just oh, Dog was playing Watcher. That's crazy. That's why he's so fast. ATM money? Well, normally a security guard is going to have a particular brand of garb, right? When a cop pulls up to me, I'm not nervous, you know, for many different societal reasons, but also because they're a cop and they're in charge of, like, protecting my welfare in general, so they're probably a little bit more trustworthy than the average guy walking around with a gun, right? Would you rather have some random redneck with a gun or a cop with a gun, right? You know, you make the call, I guess. Damn, FaZe got fucking dumpstered. GG's. I trust a redneck more than a cop. That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy work. I think that is crazy work. That is insane work. Maybe like maybe you come a particular system that, like, I don't know, like, what's happening down in fucking South Africa or whatever, Roses, and I don't want to judge, but, like, that's crazy work. In America, that's crazy work. Yeah. It was fun for the first map, and then FaZe kind of just got dumpstered for the rest of it. It's a bummer, but it was bound to happen, I think, Charles. Vitality was too good. Yeah. Ooh, fun map. Okay. I think I'm gonna call it after this. My throat is kind of... I appreciate the conversation, but my throat is kind of killing me right now. So I think I will have to end at some point, because right now my talking is becoming, you know, I'm struggling over here. Maybe I should. Damn, no fucking computers? Damn, 0 computers in the back halls, bro. I've never seen that. That's crazy. Okay, nobody over there. Let's just try to check over here. We're just trying to get a sense of the lay of the land here. How stupid do you think I am, bro? You really just let me pull up max distance. Are you more afraid of Redneck with a gun or Freddy Fazbear? What about Freddy Fazbear with a gun? Just out on the street. Let's say you're walking down the street, and you pull up and it's like, oh shit, Freddy, what's up? I'm just saying, you're walking down the street, Freddy Fazbear, he's got an AR. How you feeling about that? Not even in like a pizzeria or anything, like a completely normal spot, you know? Pizza for, Fredbear, Freddy Fazbear, he went to the diner, bro. I think it's... No, I'm not saying no cosplay. I'm saying he's clanking and shit. There's blood leaking out of his eyeballs and whatnot. Like the whole 9 yards. I'm saying full on, this is Freddy Fazbear, okay? If you think it's a cosplay, that's crazy work. Not fast enough to get that hook. Ooh! Yoink. See you later, big boy. Me and Freddy Fazbear would not be homies. You see that shit right there? God damn it. What do you think of my new OC? It's Freddy Fazbear. Bro, I cannot get it down, bro. I'm playing like shit. What is this cheese ass shit you're doing, boy? He tried to bait me. I respect the attempt. Too bad it didn't work. Man, I'm playing like shit today, boys. I don't know what to say. My puller's off its game. Man, dude, I can't get shit, man. It's not too many people. I'm just not finding any good, like, places to have hooks. I'm sorry. I'm just, man, that sucks. Yeah, it's just I'm missing stupid shit. Oh, man, that sucks. It just sucks because sometimes you should try to watch. I think Watchers are good. I just, well, you know. Sorry, Queen. Come on, let's go. I was getting destroyed all game, okay? Alright, boys. I'ma get out of here. Alright, gamers. That was today's stream. Shorter than I'd like it to be, and a little bit in a little bit more pain than I'd like to be, but hey, we made it happen. I don't know what's happening on Tuesday. I'm not gonna promise anything I can't keep. We'll see where it goes. I don't expect this to stay around for more than a couple of days, but until then, you know, kind of just play with how we can roll, do more chill streams. Maybe. I do like the energy, but drink lemon tea, all that shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun, but I've got to get out of here. Peace. Bye.